All right, welcome to another episode of The Urban Gardener. I want to thank you all so much for joining me here today on this episode. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button right down below. Follow along with more garden adventures as we continue growing here on The Urban Gardener. In fact, hit that bell notification and get notifications of upcoming episodes. We got some really cool, fun content coming up for you here real soon. But today, I got a really fun, cool episode for you all today. I've got a really fun interview with a good friend of mine from Norway. Now, my friend Christopher Brandsdal is a YouTube gardener. He's got his own YouTube channel. In fact, he started his YouTube channel maybe a year or so before me and kind of helped me get inspired enough to get out and actually do my own channel. And he's been following along with me as I've followed along with him, and we've kind of been able to chat back and forth over the last couple of years and really kind of help encourage each other along with our channels here. And it's been really fun to be able to talk with him and get an interview today. So this is going to be a really great episode. Christopher has a really cool channel, so I encourage everybody to go check that channel out. I got links down below to all of that, and see what he's got growing on in the mountains of Norway. I mean, he's all the way up there in Norway. He's got a short growing season as far as his outdoor growing season, but Christopher makes up for it by growing some really amazing things in his indoor gardens as well. He's also got a really cool geothermal greenhouse that we're all going to get to check out here real soon as he gets all of that developed and set up. So he's got some really fun things on his channel. Again, I encourage you to hit those links up down below and follow along with what he's got going on his channel there. So today, we're going to spend just a few minutes here and get the chance to get to know Christopher and talk to him. He set up a really cool little graphic for us, and we're going to kind of do a little Skype type of interview from across the world. I'm here in Southern Oregon. He's over in Norway, so it's going to be a real fun chat. So I hope you all enjoy. All right, everybody, I'd like to introduce to you my friend from Norway, Christopher Brandsdal on YouTube. How you doing, Chris?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Well, I'm all the way down here in Southern Oregon. You're all the way over across the world in Norway. So how's everything going in Norway right now?
Well, it's kind of cold and snowy. We have 2 more months of almost 2 more months of snow here, and we recently just got I would say close to 3 feet of snow, and we're just enclosed in this winter wonderland right now.
Wow. And that's one of the cool things about your channel, though, that I really enjoy watching is that you do a lot of sort of growing indoors throughout your winter time or your more extended winter time you have an excellent garden. I really encourage people to check out your channel to see what you do as far as that grows. But it's got to be really frustrating to be able to see all of us other gardeners out there getting our gardens started all across the world, basically, and you're up there in the mountains of Norway under 3 feet of snow, you just said. So that's got to be pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is, but it makes you appreciate it that much more, I think. When the season finally gets there and you've been waiting for 6 or 7 or 8 months to get out there and to do something, it's kind of like a vacation. So you just go charge
Right.
the whole season, and you just get ready to go out there and do some fantastic stuff, and you get the time. you get to see other people start their season, and you're trying to get inspiration from that, and following other channels and other friends, and just see what they have started, and you can it's kind of like seeing what the time the people running in front of you has taken, and yeah, just going with it. And it is a bummer to have such a short season, but gardening for me has always been, since the first video I was talking about the journey, and that's really the thing for me. I really try to see this as an opportunity to test my ability to solve problems as I move along. I like a challenge. I'm growing a papaya indoors. That's not something that other people are doing in this region, and that's one of the things that are kind of like seen as impossible. And people come to me and say that my bananas are fake because it's just not possible to do it. And I just want to continuously try to stretch the imagination and see what I can do. So a long answer to a short good question, but that's really the difference here.
Well, it's a really excellent answer, because it really kind of does focus on some of those things that we do as gardeners, is that we just really enjoy the process of what we're doing. So, be able to challenge ourselves in growing and trying to do different things than what is normally thought to be done, it is, really great in your part, doing what you're doing with those papayas and bananas and all of that. I mean, who would think that you could grow them in Norway? I would certainly be like, wow, really? Yeah. But I don't know about really question whether you can actually do it, because that's one of the things, like I said, that makes gardening so fun, is the challenge to be able to say, okay, well, I am going to grow a banana in the mountains of Norway, so yeah, that's really good on you as far as that goes. One of the other things I wanted to talk about here is kind of getting into how we know each other. One of the things I wanted to let everybody know, as far as my audience and everything, is that Chris here is one of the reasons why I was kind of inspired to start my channel. And we have a mutual channel that we both really were big, I'd say, fans of, in a sense. And that would be our friend Ray Browning from the Praxis 55712 channel. And it was just, how long ago did you start your channel?
Is it 3 years now? I think it's 3 or 4 years, something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was
It's been
thinking,
a while.
about 3 or so.
Yeah.
Yep. I just remember watching Ray's one of Ray's videos, and he was really enjoying what you were doing with your gardening and all of that, and gave you a shout out. And I was one of the first people right away, as soon as I saw that video, to jump on and check out what you were doing. And one of the things that was really, I think, great about that sort of getting and checking your channel out was that when I was inspired through you getting out and doing your videos to start my videos, you immediately jumped on board and were communicating with me and talking with me about doing my channel. So I guess one of the things I want to say is just kind of thank you for your support in that sort of sense. I just wanted to ask you, so what was your inspiration for getting started on doing the YouTube channel and creating videos and putting them out there?
I've been thinking a lot about that, and I've had, just to get a little bit personal here, I think we're all friends here, and as I talked about, I haven't been speaking about it a lot in my latest videos, but in my first video I touched on, I've been totally just burned out from work. I was doing so bad that I just couldn't work for almost a year. And somehow along the lines of that, I just found this fascination with gardening just growing inside of me. I've always been attracted to gardening. I grew up with a grandmother in the house next door. We were doing gardening every single summer, and we had those kind of fantastic moments together, and it's always stuck with me. But somehow I just the passion just started burning inside of me with doing more gardening, and I started watching videos on the internet. And I kind of feel like it's a cliche, but the videos that Ray put out really inspired me, because it was just so easy for me to just sit down and take in kind of like a story with gardening. And I I've always been a little bit repelled by videos that are too much. This is how you do that, and this is the result. I I just, as Ray say, and that's why I really connect with him. And I think a lot of my videos are inspired by his style of videos, because that's truly what I want to do also. It's getting out there and just sit down and have a conversation with you. For me, it has been in hard times. It's been so easy for me to just use the camera as kind of a place to talk to. And I feel like what has really progressed me in my YouTube making is kind of like the relationships I have with you and other people also that are doing the same thing, burning with the same passion, and have the same idea of things around greenery and stuff like that. And it is just about doing those kind of things together with all my online friends. And we share the same interest.
That's a
And
really,
that's
really, really
it's
great point.
yeah, it's not a single point that made me go into this, but it's kind of like the experience that we are all working towards. And I feel like every single day is going to be a better day than yesterday, because I'm progressing, I'm doing better, my friends are doing better, we're all working towards getting more knowledge into what we're doing. And at the same time, we take the time to sit back in a video, we drink some coffee, we just chat about stuff. And I don't care about the people that don't want to see that. They can just go somewhere else. We're here to just vent.
That's right. And and I like the point you mentioned though too, the really constrained how-to type of videos. Now, every now and then they're kind of necessary. We
Yeah.
need to be able to go and look for some information, get some things that we don't quite know where to start, or what to do as far as that goes. Those are really, really great. But the point you make there is absolutely solid. Is I, in a similar sense, when I started watching YouTube garden videos, was under a similar situation. It was more of kind of maybe a help me relax a little bit more from things that are going on in the world around me. So I found that I really enjoyed growing and gardening and plants in general. So that's where I was found Ray at Praxis 55712 and his Voodoo Garden channel as well. Was, like you said, just a relaxing, be able to chill and sit back with somebody who really just wants to connect with you, and is
Yeah.
not just showing you his garden. He's kind of making a personal connection with you and everything. And that's one of the goals I set out to do as well in my videos, is to be a little bit more personal and not constrain myself to doing how-tos, because in the long run, I don't think most people really, really want to take a how-to from me. Just kind of check and see how I'm doing anyways with the gardening that I'm doing when it comes down to it. So those are some really, really excellent points there about getting started with your channel, because I think a lot of us kind of share that sort of thing when it comes to gardening and our connection with gardening and social media, is that we're all looking for a connection to people of very similar values and similar interests. And it really boosts, what I mean? Like you said,
Yeah.
or Ray even says, today is a great day, it's a great day, when you're able to get out and do the things and connect with the people you really enjoy. And that's one of the things I really, again, really value your friendship and what you brought to what I've been able to do here on my channel as well. Making those sort of connections are really sort of important, not just for us on these videos and making videos for everybody, but for just general viewers out there who are just watching these videos, being able to connect with us and to be able to follow along with what we're doing really kind of helps a lot of people out in what, they're dealing with in their day-to-day lives. And those are the sort of really great connections to make in the garden community.
Yeah.
It's excellent. So next, I just kind of want to talk about your channel in general. What are some of the plans you got coming up here for us this season?
Well, this season is going to be the most hectic season thus far. I've recently purchased and been using almost 2 years now to set up a big, huge honking greenhouse. It is 50 square meters, and I think that's about 500 square foot or something like that. It is a huge thing, and
Right.
it is going to be all about that. It's a geothermal setup, and I've been working with trying to test out how to do. Everything I'm doing based on my own ideas. I'm trying it myself to see if it works or not, or if there's something I could do and tweak and this and that. And this year is going to be my best year outside. I've been having some fantastic years outside before. I'm with the season that I have, I think I can produce too much for us to eat. And this year I'm going to expand on that. And I'm going to do so many things. I just have a seed order from Rare Seeds on the way in the mail now. And I think there's about 40 different varieties that I'm going to try out this year outside. And I'm going to do so many crazy things. And for the indoor garden, this is an ongoing project. It's always running. And it has its ups and downs, and it has its peak season and whatnot. And now it's kind of like a transition phase. I'm going from having tiny plants to actually getting like a papaya. I'm having huge plants now. I'm growing lemons, and I'm growing bananas, and I'm olive tree and guava and everything. And I'm thinking about maybe transitioning more into having large trees indoors. Just doing something crazy. So I'm watching. I'm having my eyes on some projects out there, and I'm going to do more fun stuff.
See, that's the great thing about with your channel is you never know what you're going to get. You got such a sense of doing such really cool things, to put in trees in your house, let alone the bananas and papayas and everything you're doing.
But it's all fun, and it's all about doing something fun. If it interests me, I'm working with it. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm doing hydroponic now. I've just started my first experiment with hydroponic, and it's going fantastic. The darn thing is growing like madman. I don't know what's going on there, but that's going to be a fun thing. I've been thinking about doing some aquarium projects, doing aquaponics, growing peppers in a fish tank. I don't know. There's just no limits to what I'm going to try this year.
See, that's excellent. That's excellent. Man, I really like the idea of that. And everybody's really got to get out. And there's going to be links right down below for everybody to check out Chris's channel and check out some of those things that he's doing up there. He's already got a really good series on the geothermal greenhouse that he was talking about there. Got to check that out. It's a really great project. And I noticed you did just start putting up those hydroponic videos there. So that's something for everybody else to check out too, because that seems like a really fun experiment to be working on there in your indoor greenhouse.
Awesome.
So what are some of the things that you really enjoy growing besides some of the things you've got indoors, like outdoors? What are you planning on putting into your outdoor garden this year?
Well, outside, I'm going to divide my intentions. I've been trying to grow everything everywhere, and it hasn't been working out too great. I can't grow peppers outdoors and have a huge success. I know that now. I've been trying it for so many years. We have down to frost temperatures at night in the summertime. You can get peppers, but So
right.
I'm shifting now because I have this fantastic new greenhouse. That's gonna be like my tropical zone. I can grow cucumbers, eggplants, melons, tomatoes, ginger, peppers. I'm going to grow peanuts. I'm going to grow all those kind of tropical things, I'm going to grow that in a greenhouse. But outdoors, I'm going to try to get back to the roots. I'm going to grow cabbage, carrots, strawberries, parsnips, celery,
A lot of those cooler season stuff.
all those kind of potatoes, everything that you would find, beans and everything. That's like kind of like the things that are native here. And why do I bother trying to grow stuff outdoors that really is not intended to grow here? Why not just grow the things that are really common to this area and do that fantastic? So I could have, so I've been approached by people asking me what kind of carrots I'm growing and how am I able to get such fantastic carrots. You have to be on top of that 24/7. Well, I answered those people that those carrots, and that's a fact, were never watered. Never single time were they watered. I just put down the seeds and I just harvest. And that's all I did.
Wow.
Because we have so cool nights and we have a good amount of rain and everything, so it never really dries out. It just works. So why don't I just use my energy to do those kind of things fantastic? Because in the end, it really isn't anything better for me than to just go out and grab a fresh carrot and to have cabbage and kale and all those kind of things. Oh, it's just fantastic.
Yes, yes. There's nothing better than getting stuff right out of your own garden and be able to eat them. Like I said, I just harvested up some leeks from my garden, and I can't wait to make some soup out of that. And that's my project for this evening: potato leek soup, just like Grandma used to make.
That's just fantastic.
But yeah, and you would think that that would be something that would be a little bit more successful in that climate, and your shorter growing season is just kind of really focusing on more of those cooler season crops like that. So that's something really to look forward to and see how well that actually works out for you. So, all right, Chris, how about we do a few quick questions with you real quick. You mentioned that you like to grow peppers. They may not grow very well outside, so you'll get to grow them in your geothermal greenhouse. What is one of your favorite pepper varieties?
I have to pick something that really gives me the most from the pepper, and that has to be shishito. And that's not based just on the taste, but it's how I'm able to use it. In the summertime, we grill shishitos and we make our own spice salt, and we have a dipping sauce and everything. And me and my wife could just sit down in the sofa outside and enjoy the evening and just have some grilled peppers. And I'm salivating just at the thought of that, because it is such a fantastic pepper. And it is so easy to grow. And but I love so many different varieties. I really like those middle range spices. I'm thinking some kind of habaneros. I'm enjoying so many different varieties. And in fact, I've been planting my seeds now, and I've started everything, and I'm going to grow 15 to 20 peppers this year. And I counted, I think I had around 300 varieties of peppers to choose from. So they're all kind of like my babies, and I'm kind of been too obsessed with peppers. But you can just get lost in that game. It is such a fantastic plant.
It is so true. It is so true. It's one of my favorite things. I love doing peppers, and a lot for the fact that you get such a great variety, whether it's from the super hots to the really sweet peppers. I just love everything in between, and growing the plants. That's another thing, the challenge of growing the plants. It's just, they're wonderful plants to grow, and, similar other things out there. I love growing the tomatoes as well for the similar thing. It's their challenge. And there's so many just wonderful varieties out there. Yeah. Do you have a favorite tomato variety that you might be growing? Or are you going to try tomato?
I'm about 20 plants, I think, in the greenhouse. I've spaced out. um, I would have to say that the black cherry is one of my favorite tomatoes. It just
That's a
has
good one.
a different type of taste, and it's a little bit more acidic. And I like those acidic but sweet tomatoes, and it has kind of like a black taste. It tastes something else. I also like a tomato called Amos Coley. I don't know how it's called, Amos
Mm,
Coley or something. It was from Rare
right.
Seeds, and it's kind of like this big paste kind of tomato, but it has the
Oh,
most incredible flavor. And there's so many different to choose from.
there's so many
Uh,
wonderful ones. In fact, you mentioned that black cherry. You sent me some seeds for that a couple of seasons back, and those I planted them out in my side alleyway garden, and they just volunteered for me the last season, and I'm sure they'll
ah,
pop up again this season. I'll be looking forward to them again. Yeah, so
awesome.
that's really great. I love those ones. They are great flavor. I and I think that's one of the things I really like the most is the cherry tomatoes because you just get to go out and just kind of snack on them while you're out there
Yeah.
gardening and doing whatever. I'm eating a handful a day when they're in season, so
But I just have a story about that. I think it's kind of funny because we were talking here the other day, and um, we were talking about the sugar rush peach.
yes.
That's a pepper. It is a mildish Baccatum. It's a fantastic pepper, and you were talking about you have been growing that, and you have a friend growing it now from, if I remember correct, from some seeds that you had, and we
Yeah,
were just tracing this pepper back because those were seeds I sent to you, and you said, well,
right. Yep.
these are your, well, those are your peppers. Well, it is technically not my peppers because I got my seeds from a friend of us called Dave Schramm, another great
Yep.
YouTuber.
Grown at home
And
in West Virginia.
yeah, and it's kind of like this is the idea, and we all are growing the Prax cherry tomato and everything, and it all ties together. And it is kind of for me like when you go to a restaurant and you have a sommelier going there telling you about the wine, and you get the history of the wine, where it's from, how it's been produced, and everything. And
Yes.
it is kind of like the same thing with our varieties. We are growing things that have a history now, and that's one of
Got
the
a kind
things
of
that are
cool
so,
story.
yeah. And it's kind of what makes a variety interesting. It's not just purely the pepper or the tomato or anything, but it's the journey going there. And that's why it's so hard to choose a favorite, because they're all kind of like favorites from different stories and different sides of the world.
Yes, definitely. And one other thing about the Sugar Rush Peach too is I also checked a little bit further. I guess that the Sugar Rush Peach originated from a grower in England, I believe.
Correct.
So it
Chris Fowler.
goes from England, comes to the States to Dave there, grown at home at West Virginia, goes up to Norway to go to your garden up there. Then you send me seeds here into Southern Oregon. I give the seeds to another friend who's now growing them down in Mexico
Yeah, it's awesome.
from the same line of pepper seeds started,
Yeah,
from back then. It's just, yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that really makes growing some of these different varieties and like that so great. You mentioned the Praxis cherry tomato, originating in Ray's garden and is now traded amongst all of us different gardeners out there. And every time we have a cool seed giveaway, there's just people lining up, or just finding out about it, or just finding out that people have it out there available, and lining up to get
yeah.
those seeds. And it's a great thing is those stories behind the seeds as well. So that's what makes them really great varieties. Um, well, so you've got, we talked about just a moment ago about doing some cooler crops out in your outdoor garden. What is maybe one of your favorite crops? I know you mentioned carrots, but besides that in your garden that you like to grow in the cool season?
I really love radishes. I'm just a huge fan of radishes. Those are It's kind of like if you've been starving for several weeks, the first thing that you want to do is get your radishes in the ground because you will have
Yeah.
food within a couple of weeks. And
Yep.
I'm eating those all the way. I'm eating the leaves as seedlings. I'm growing them as microgreens. Um, I'm
Hmm.
eating them, of course, as a radish. That's a fantastic pepper snack. And I let them go
Yes.
to seed. I let about half of my crop go to seed, and I'm eating those seed
Hmm.
pods like it's like a snow pea or yeah, I don't know what they're called,
I
but it's
was really, really amazed at how good those seed pods are,
yeah, those
and
are amazing. As
there's
long as
just
I've been growing radishes, I've been growing those pods and just using those in a
yeah,
salad or and just as a snack. And for some people, the radishes could be a little bit too peppery. They don't really like the peppery flavor of it. But if you use those pods, they taste more like a green bean or something like that with a little hint
yes.
of pepper. And it's just fantastic.
Yeah, and
So
that's
I
one
think
thing you just wouldn't
radishes,
really think about with radishes being so versatile. I mean, they
yeah, I
just,
know.
like you said, it starts right off that for one, if you just want to grow them to get to get the root, it's literally, 20, 28 days later, you've got a whole good crop of that. Or
Yeah.
if you're saving seeds like you're talking about, which I do, I put aside some of those seed pods to grow out seeds, and you get a ton of them if you really grow them out right. And at that point in time, I just spread them out in such a mass amount and just grow them for microgreens like you're talking about. That's another
And
great thing
also,
too you can do.
another thing that is really exciting to grow is bok choy or pak choy. I really love
Yeah.
that greenery, and it goes so well with our local trout that we fish up here. It's a mountain
Right.
trout, and if you steam those with some butter and everything, and it is just a fantastic crop to grow. And so it's it's just so many things that you can grow that are interesting. I think people are focusing so much on tomatoes and peppers and maybe cucumbers, and that's really all people are talking about. And you see the videos people are posting out there, and they're always focusing on how to grow those kind of vegetables. And I
Yeah.
think there is so many outsiders that really deserve some attention, and I'm going to focus my time on giving that attention because I feel like we need to sometimes to just step back and see what different types of salads we could grow and those kind of
Yeah.
root vegetables. And we tend to just grow the regular mainstream stuff, but there's so much out there, and it's time to do
Yeah, I
some
definitely
exploration.
agree. Yeah, that's one of the things too, is maybe even for my channel here is, we do put a good focus on the peppers and tomatoes too, because it's something to really, really enjoy. I mean, we really enjoy them, but you're so true about the idea that they're really, really focused on out there. And it's something, even my channel could do a lot better at is focusing on some of those other types of crops that are growing in the garden. And especially a lot of the bok choys and the different types of greens that we're growing and stuff. I mean, I've got a lot of things out there that I've grown throughout this winter and everything that were just really, really exceptionally good. But I need to focus better on making videos and doing those sort of things and showing them, like you're saying. So that'll be something really, really great to look forward to on your channel, though, too, is to be able to see all those sort of things that you're growing there in Norway and during this upcoming season. So, I really encourage everybody again to get onto the link down below and check out Chris's channel. He's Christopher Brandsdal at YouTube. I want to thank you again, Chris, for joining me here today on this episode. It's been really
Thank you
great to
so much
catch
for
up with
having
you
me. It's
and
been a
have you
pleasure.
here. I mean, it's been really different. This is the first time I've done an interview like this in the short amount of interviews I've done where it's from across the globe and we're not face to face, so this is just a little bit different of a format. And I really do want to thank you as well for setting this up. All of this graphics and all that sort of stuff is done by Chris as well. He helped set us up with this. So it's really great of you to do that. I really appreciate that. And so I want to thank everybody else for joining us here on the Urban Gardener and checking out this really cool interview with Chris from Norway.
And subscribe to the Urban Gardener channel.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Please, if you can, hit the subscribe button down below, like Chris says. And also, you know, really give this video a big thumbs up for Chris joining us here on the Urban Gardener. It's just been really great to have you here. And great to have the conversations with you. You really are a help, and really are a great inspiration for gardening out there, you know, because you can always do things you don't think that you can do. Don't question it, just get out and do it and grow it, like Chris shows you on his channel. So again, please hit us up on the comments section down below, maybe ask some questions or anything like that for Chris, and maybe he'll be able to help you out with growing some things in your garden. All right, we'll see you all again on the very next episode. More than that, or however, you know, maybe an hour.
You just run the show, and I'll try to.
Yeah, that's right. That's get and run the show. About this is this is the first time I'm doing an interview where I'm not in person with somebody. You're sitting right next to them and talking to them, which is a little bit different too, because then you're wondering, do I talk to the person and look at him, or am I looking at the camera? What am I supposed to do when it comes to that, you know?
Yeah.
But here we're just direct. We're both looking straight into the camera. We're both going. So
yeah.
All right.
It is fun though. It's gonna look as natural as well, hey, people are watching a video that's been recorded from totally across the world. So I think that's cool. Yep. I think we can handle a little bit of a lag.
Okay. Let me get ready here. So we'll just go ahead and get going into this. All right. So. All right. We should be able to tie that together and make something nice.
Yeah. It's just for fun.
Yes, it is. It's for fun. And like I said, it's just so different. Like I said, so...
I'm just going to stop the recording.